Dude, I don't know. She said he wasn't selling anything. Like, he was just giving away, like, a security system or something. She was like... She was out there for, like, 5 minutes, and she came in. She's like, oh, the guy wants to talk to you. You're giving away a security system. And I just looked at it. I was like, nah.
No.
Nah.
I don't want that shit.
So I think that's a no.
Oh, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Scat, scat,
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Wildly Uninteresting podcast. Episode number 109. 109 up in ya. No, welcome back to the show. This is Wildly Uninteresting podcast. My name is Adam. That's Ian.
Hi.
That's Sarah.
I'm Ian.
I'm Sarah.
I've figured out that, which I've said it before, that we're mostly an opinion-based podcast, right?
Yes.
Right? I mean, that's just your opinion, though.
That's my
I
opinion.
think of this as
Hey-o!
something
Because
else.
it's not fact, correct?
Yeah.
It's not fact.
That one's not.
We live
Although
in
that is a fact.
we live in an age
I don't know.
that
what it is.
too many opinions
You don't know.
get taken as fact. Like now, if I come at you with a bunch of case studies, right, and I'm like, whatever, like COVID-19 came from an animal, right? It was transmitted from an animal to a human. It crossed that barrier that we have,
Right?
If I come with case studies, and I
Yes.
tell you that,
Yes.
but you have different worldviews, and you're like, no,
Yes.
I guarantee you that it was man-made in some lab somewhere, and that's how it was transmitted, right?
Right.
Well, a lot of people view that as fact, even though that would be opinion, and the case studies based in science would be more factual.
Well,
Now,
because
they might change.
idiots don't trust science.
Right.
And then want to believe the guy over here because the guy over here has never changed his opinion about anything.
Yeah. But
Science
it has
evolves,
never,
that guy
yeah.
doesn't.
And I've worked with a lot of people that never, like, it has never, they've never crossed that, like, oh shit, my opinions might be completely wrong, right?
Right.
I've met a lot of people. I've worked with them. They just,
think
they're
most
60,
people think
70, and they just haven't changed.
Well, you see,
It's a bad way to be.
there's
see.
a specific fellow I've experienced some conversations with, and he believes that the majority of scientists and doctors are in a conspiracy to lie to us and
Yeah.
prescribe medications that are not in our best interest. Mm-hmm. And so
Yeah.
to counter this, or to challenge him, we'll say, I said, stop taking your medications and see what happens.
Right.
Yeah.
And he didn't.
Right.
Well, of course
So-
not. Yeah.
But if he believes it,
but
the doctors are out to prescribe me things that aren't good for me. Stop taking your shit. No. Well, then they don't really believe it. They just say it. And
Yeah.
they're fucking stupid.
Right. And I will say, okay, with that same argument, right? So we live in a capitalist-based society where profit is everything. Profit is motivated,
Profit
right?
is king, baby.
So it's not that they prescribe something that's bad for you or in a conspiracy that give you the medicine that is terrible for you. What they do is they give you the status quo medicine, the medicine that has always been there and whatever. And apparently in the field of medicine, for their research and development, when they're making a new drug, what they do is they take the original, they change it molecularly, just slightly, like turning a dial, just slightly, and then they repurpose that same, it's pretty much the same medication, acts the same in the body, but it's the most profitable way to do research and development when it comes to medicine, right? It's just tweak it a little bit, sell the same thing, it does the same thing, we know it's not going to react any different,
What's your source
Development.
on this?
actually watched an entire video, which it's whatever. It's on second thought, and there were citations for the case studies for it. But I'm not saying that's right. I'm just saying that they do that. That's what research and development in these industries do. They
Well,
just
certainly
tweak it a little
seems
bit.
like that would be the best place to start. I mean, if you have something that works already and you want something different.
Well,
it's
not
like cooking.
It
Yeah.
does.
Yeah.
It's so I get where they're coming from, right? So saying it works is kind of like that's kind of wrong because it does. It helps, right? It works a tad bit. But if we would pour resources in, take the benefit of profit out of it, right? Take that out of the picture. That's not our main goal. They could make medications that actually fix you, right? and we wouldn't be stuck with these medications that are old and played out, and that tear you down a little bit and shit. Really, when it comes down to it, it's the profit motivated. Like, for them to create an entirely new drug, they wouldn't gain profit. Like, there would be no profit in that matter.
I mean, like, to a degree, I see what you're saying, but to another degree, it sounds like that crazy guy that's counteracting science with his own opinion.
Oh yeah.
You feel me on that?
Oh no, I feel you for sure.
You feel me on that?
But
no.
I try to like see it from that standpoint too, right? I want to see it from, because I think the same way. Like, I think they're out to get us. I think the elites want to keep us sick. I think that same way. But then I try to be okay with that and listen to the other side. Like, yeah, it may seem that way, but it's probably more or less that they don't want to create a new drug because it costs too much.
But consider an alternative to where, instead of it being they want to keep us like needing it or like down or whatever, maybe we're not as good as a species at science as we'd like to believe.
Oh yeah, okay.
And I mean, that seems more likely.
Yeah.
Because I mean, if there's the nefarious shit going on, then eventually it would come out. There would be some indicator of it. And I mean, maybe I've missed it. I don't know every conspiracy, and I tend to not be trusting of people, but I feel like I'm more inclined to believe that we're stupid than I am to believe that there's a thing there to keep people down.
I think we're definitely, I can get on board with that. I think we're definitely stupid. And we're reluctant to change, so we don't want to change from the path that we're on. Yeah. We like the way the world works at the moment.
This is comfortable. Well, it doesn't work, but it's comfortable.
Yeah, but it's comfortable. So yeah, I can see that too. Like, not changing, not like mixing things up, because it's just uncomfortable. Like, we're making money. I get to go to my house at night. I got security. We're not gonna fuck with that. I'm not gonna fuck with it. If I'm a CFO or a CEO, I'm not fucking with that. Like, I'm not gonna. You're gonna tell me that, and there's no indicator. That's just like, okay. I love making videos. I love building stuff. I love growing stuff. I love a ton of shit, right? But there's no milestone in that, right? There's no milestone in me doing those things. So inevitably they peter off. With the company, the only reason I've kept going is because there's a milestone. It's a dollar bill.
Why isn't there a milestone in the other stuff?
Well, just because, I guess because I'm so conditioned to think that money is the milestone. So if you're not making that from whatever you're doing, then...
Well, what about your own personal progress? Don't you think like your first video is better than, less better than your last one?
Yeah.
Milestone.
No, I know, but that's what I'm saying. I think in my brain, in the way I'm conditioned, I see that as, that's just self-serving. Like, I'm just self-serving this need to be better in here.
Well, what is money if not self-serving?
Oh, no, I agree, but I take care of it like that. Like, it can take care of things. It can buy things. It can have security from it. Blah blah blah. Like. So that milestone seems to me to be better, but I think as I'm growing older, I'm realizing how much I could give a shit less about that, and I kick myself in the ass. Really, when I look back, I kick myself in the ass for not doing those things, like playing guitar better, or drums better, or videos, or whatever.
I don't know what this whole thing is in society. Like, if you decide to do things you enjoy because you enjoy them, or you take care of yourself, or you tell someone no when they ask you to do something, like, that's selfish. I mean, it is technically, but getting rid of the negative connotation that goes with selfish.
Matthew McConaughey talked about the same shit.
No shit.
Dude. He's like, I want to redefine selfish.
Yeah.
Like, hell yeah.
Because you have to, that's why doctors commit suicide, because they're expected to work so much constantly and take on all this responsibility, when you got to learn to leave shit like where it is.
Yeah. You ate a bag of Cheetos a day for a year. You can't put that on your doctor.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
That's why I always think about the energy drinks. I'm like, can't really complain when I have a heart attack, Like, all the drugs and the energy drinks that I've done in my life, like
When did you
prior,
do drugs?
like prior to the energy drink addiction.
Yesterday.
It's like I can't really complain once I get out. Like I see it coming, I'm like really gonna be pissed off when it happens, but I'm gonna be like, well,
Why, God?
why me? But people are like, we make a joke of that, but people are truly like that.
Yeah.
They will eat
They can't
McDonald's
understand it.
and bags of chips and stuff that doesn't have any nutritional value. And then when they get down the road and they're 300 pounds, or let's say they're skinny and they've lost their teeth or they're unhealthy or whatever, they blame that on either the system or healthcare is too
It's
much.
definitely the
So
man keeping us
That
down.
ties into that Sadhguru stuff.
Yeah.
Because he ended up talking about how, like, on a global scale, like if somebody in China or whatever doesn't have food to eat, it's like, oh, that's God's cruel ways. But if you don't have something to eat, then you accept it as something that you did wrong. You're
Right.
like, well, I didn't use my money properly. And then it's just passing the buck onto somebody else.
Yeah.
Disregard the fact that the fucking system's broken. I mean, it could be
I think
choices that you made, but it could
the
also be that
American
things are
system is
fucked.
broken. I can.
I feel like it's
jump
just
on that.
broken all around. With
It's
the,
broken all around
except for
because
like Scandinavian
we
countries.
we push this capitalist fucking society like it's the shit, like democratic, whatever democratic republic I think we are. Like we push that so hard, and in real that's not the answer. That's why other countries are having a hard time and failing just like we are.
Well, yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like, I don't think that there's an answer. Like, everything sounds good in theory, but when it's actually put into practice, there's too many factors that come into it, that play on it, that nothing's going to be perfect.
The main factor that comes into play is shitty people unwilling to do what's right.
Mm-hmm.
And we can try to
Absolutely.
blame whatever system we want on that. I mean, some systems are more effective than others, but at the end of the day, if you don't have a decent person in there,
Yeah.
then you could put the best. God, you can take whatever country has the best system. We'll use their system, and in 5 years, it's fucked.
It's totally fucked. What's the Scandinavian thing?
Yeah, you got Jack.
It's
What was going on?
I was listening to Stephen Fry talk about shit, and he referenced their systems and how, like, I forget what their technical definition of, like, their way of
Like,
government or whatever is.
yeah,
It's
I
like
guess their system
some kind
structure.
of like fuck. I don't know. Either way,
Yeah.
whatever the fuck they have, he was like, it's great. You look at the best countries all around, they have that system.
And that's what I've looked into them before, and they all seem like they're solid, and yet there's still people who say that they're not. Like, how? I need to know where this
I
fucking...
looked it up and it was saying that it was you said Scandinavia, right? They said constitutional monarchies.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
But they said, like, the first thing that popped up was like, why is it collapsing? So maybe it's collapsing.
I wonder if it actually is.
No, probably not.
I'm a lot more likely to trust Stephen Fry
Yeah.
than I am fucking Google.
Yeah.
But
It'd be worth looking into the data for the last 50 years or whatever.
I think too, man.
there were a couple
That's
things I wanna read.
there was a journalist econ guy that I was watching. I have to look his name up to get it right.
We're just knocking it out of the park today.
No. But that's what he was talking about, other countries and how well they deal with things, and that he has seen multiple collapses, like through wars and civil unrest, stuff like that, multiple collapses. And he said that all signs point to it in, like, America, that we're headed for a collapse. It could be 10 years, it could be 50. He was like, but every sign that I've ever seen, and he's been doing journalism since, like, the 50s, in any other countries, developed and non-developed. And he said that, he was like, all the signs are there. Like, it's so close to the tipping point, like, it's,
yeah.
and we've seen it the most with the coronavirus stuff, and see how delicate the system is. Like, it's definitely, I could, trust him. I mean, he's been there, you know what I mean? That's like you just said, like, I don't trust Google, because what if the information is just biased? You know what I mean? Somebody that's been there, though.
Well, I just assume that Stephen Fry's done more research than a quick Google search.
Yeah.
Well, that's
probably
that's what I was going
definitely.
to say. Based off, algorithm, I mean, it could just pop up an answer because that's what you're inclined to believe. But
And
I mean,
then some of this says they're kind of socialist too. So,
yeah.
but that might be a good answer for us. Socialism might be okay. Mm-hmm. I think they paint it in a bad light, but I'm on board.
Well, I mean, historically, it's not worked.
But we haven't let it work, though. I don't feel.
No, it's because we've had the wrong fucking people in charge of it.
Oh, there you go.
Shitty
Yeah.
ass
Yeah, it's an
people.
acceptable way
I'll
of
take
doing things, but
Yeah. I'll definitely take that.
I really
Okay.
do want to know, which I mean, I truly have no idea. I haven't really looked into a constitutional monarch and looked at their, data to see like
yeah.
their crime rates and their drug addiction rates and all that shit. But where is this disconnect coming in?
Well, the way he highlighted it, the reason their shit works and ours doesn't is because there's accountability on a personal and a countrywide level.
Hell yeah.
In America, it's just
Me.
here's the president. He's just a fly-by-night politician, I think is what he said. And politicians in other places, if you have like the monarchy or whatever with the shit, you have someone that's essentially, it's like they're just a figurehead, like they're there to kind of represent the idea of the country. So there's a symbolism and the accountability and shit. And he said, if in America the president had to, like every year, instead of doing like a State of the Union, or in addition to that, like on the way to doing that, we have somebody that represents Uncle Sam.
Yeah.
That is like, here, he holds the ideals of the country. Now you have to answer to him why you're not doing what is best for the country, or like what you have done. So without that, it's just a matter of, we have the system in place to protect people that have gotten in there in honest ways or not.
Fuck yeah, it's
And then the people are just too fucking blind or lazy or whatever to do
yeah.
anything. Or some people feel helpless.
The gentleman's name was Christopher Lynn Hedges, right? He's an American
That's the son
Pulitzer
of a
Prize
bitch.
winning.
The start of World War One.
yeah.
No, I'm just kidding.
That's exactly who it
Am I
was.
saying that right? Pulitzer Prize
Pulitzer,
winning
Pulitzer,
journalist.
Pulitzer.
He has a book out that he just currently wrote, and it's the book that I'm talking about. Like, it's pretty much we're headed for a collapse.
The old dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I hate to say it, we've always said it. Like it gets crazy worse before it ever gets better. Like it's gonna go downhill so quick and so fast that nobody's gonna know what to do. It's gonna be up in everybody's face. Nobody's gonna be safe. Hopefully, because I hope like there isn't an elite group. And I'm sure Jeff Bezos would be okay because we'll still like buy.
I will personally find that motherfucker.
We'll buy survival
Fuck
equipment
him.
from Amazon and he'll be okay, right?
Yeah, I'll get everything I need first shipped to my
Yeah,
house
first
and then go
like
for
2 day shipping, and then be like, drop your Prime account and fuck him up. You know what I mean? but you know what I mean? But that's
It's a big butt there.
That's what we may need is a collapse. Not a collapse enough to where even our military falls and stuff, but
Not enough to kill us, but enough to shake us up.
yeah, and that's
Reassess.
going back to the conspiracy theory ideal. I've even questioned my morals on that, right? Even like when it comes down to 9/11, as much as I want to fucking believe that was a true to God conspiracy, because that one I
Strange
believe
thing
the
to want to
most.
believe, but
Yeah. I mean, that I've believed that since I've been 11 or 12 years old. I've always believed that, right?
Right.
But when it comes down to it, the usually the easiest, simplest answer is usually the correct one.
I feel like I
Doesn't have
yelled
to be
about
constant.
this a few episodes ago, how people
think
need to get
so.
off Occam's razor's nuts. And now here you are.
Oh, is that what?
Celebrating it.
Yeah,
Does that have something to do with that?
you were, you did yell about it, but it was more of like people. That's why they live their life the way they do, based off that one idea.
Yeah.
And
No, that's.
Well,
I'm
look
just
at
saying.
Adam. He's packing up to move out west.
I'm just saying, like
You
the
better not
easiest
be.
answer is usually the most simplest answer is usually the correct one. So
Is
really,
there a simple
probably
answer with that?
Yeah, probably what happened
Yes,
was
terrorists.
across the FBI, the CIA, and the NSA, all that didn't communicate all because I mean they had those guys on their watch. They didn't
Okay.
communicate.
Yeah.
So,
and
all right.
they
So if
probably
there's a simple answer for that,
Yeah.
what's the simple answer as to why there's no footage of the plane clearly
That went
flying
to
into the Pentagon.
Yeah. And that's something too that
answer that.
I looked
Oh,
up. No,
whoops.
the FBI
Drop the ball.
the FBI
Shit.
showed up, took that gas station's footage
Yeah.
and only released 3 pictures, right? So that way, that one I can't explain, but they also said like,
That doesn't
would
sound
they
very
have
simple, does it?
would they have shipped in like debris from a wreckage and dead bodies and placed them there because those were there too? And something that doesn't get mentioned a lot is like they cleared out bodies, they took away plane
How do
debris.
we know they weren't already there?
I know that. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And then the idea with the passports of the terrorists.
I know they found those, but
Yeah,
not
what
the
are
black box.
what are the chances that we're gonna find
Slim to
those?
none.
Yeah,
Slim to none.
And
I'll agree.
it's burning hot enough to drop a
I
building.
know.
Oh, but we found their passports.
But I'll say
I've
this.
I've watched some stuff from other plane crashes where things like that survive. Every single person fucking dies and they find almost entirely full passports. I've seen it from
Right.
other plane crashes that don't have like conspiracies surrounded.
And that's the thing, like,
it's unlikely, but
It's
happens.
unlikely. And the thing is, too, like, maybe they did find the black boxes and the passports, but they never released the black boxes because they were like, there was some suspicious shit on there that they probably should have been doing their job and America dropped the ball.
Well,
Let's
and
just
look,
say.
I mean, it could be anything, which I'm inclined to believe the conspiracy for sure. But I mean, perhaps the pilots just did some shit that made them look bad, and for the family's
Yeah.
sake, they don't want them to look shitty, so they don't release it. I mean,
So
it could be fucking
They want to
anything.
protect the integrity of a couple pilots, so they deny an entire country answers to
I
the
know,
biggest
right?
problem of the past few decades.
Yeah,
I'll
they
say,
think
though,
we can't fucking handle anything.
in
possible.
I
the
hate our
process
country in
of
this
like
scenario.
in the process of like cooling off on the whole conspiracy thing and like, well, maybe not until we have actual facts and stuff and it's presented and whatever, not thinking about it and stop with like the conspiracy in the back of my head or blaming or doing whatever, it actually felt better to not have a conspiracy in my mind. I just figured our government dropped the ball. They didn't speak to each other. We had a whatever happened, right?
Yeah.
And it happened.
There was a mistake instead of a conspiracy.
Yeah, and you think about that across everything. There's like the child sex trafficking being this big intricate group of celebrities and millionaires, and
They
they fuck kids
accidentally
and stuff.
stole and fucked those kids.
Yeah, maybe they're
How
just
did this happen again?
maybe they're
I
just
wanted pizza.
in the black market. Like that is the most profitable
Yeah.
of black market industries is child sex labor or child sex workers.
We told you these kids so they could be slaves, not sex slaves.
But that's
we
what
got a higher bid.
like maybe it doesn't have nothing to do with all the people they implicated in that. Maybe some of them, probably a lot of them, because there are an awful lot of fucking pedophiles. I don't know if you know this,
Dude,
but
they're everywhere.
there are a lot. In the music industry,
I have
the
met
movie
a healthy
industry.
number of them.
Yeah,
It's insane. It's uncomfortably
yeah.
insane. Like
And I think the ones that aren't or that
Why
are
are
on
there
the
so
fucking
many?
on the edge, if presented with the opportunity and deprived of sex in the relationship or whatever, giving the opportunity, say she was 16 or 15 and very mature or whatever, I think that a lot of people, good people, would succumb to being
temptation.
yeah.
Yeah.
And that's just saying. I'm not
That's just
I'm just throwing
speculation
out.
here.
Yeah. That's definitely an opinion. Like I'm just trying to like ease into the thing. But what I'm saying is like if you clear your mind of everything's a conspiracy, there's a cabal, there's a whatever, there's this rabbit hole I'm
You can
stuck
take
in.
the
okay.
conspiracy from me, but leave the cabal.
Once you clear that, man, it kind of feels better to go through the day because life sucks, it's suffering, and then you die. Like, so why muddy that shittiness with more shittiness? Like,
Yeah.
and when you worrying about it's not going to do nothing but cause health issues, mentally, physically.
But then there's the thought in the back of my mind that what if I find something, and then I can
but that's what
convince
keeps
enough
you coming
people.
out. Yeah, and it's
Then
what
you'll
makes
be
you
dead.
keep coming back, though, right?
Yeah.
They're gonna kill
Yeah.
you.
Every time you get a little piece of the
Good.
puzzle. Oh, they'll definitely kill you for sure.
Good.
I think
I'll
that-
die a martyr.
If
Oh, yeah.
there's just because there's not straightforward answers to something doesn't mean that it's the government's up to no good.
Right.
It could mean that. That's definitely one of the possibilities.
It's kind of like
but
with the pyramids. It's like, well, we don't understand it, but it doesn't mean it was aliens.
exactly. Yeah.
We can't explain how we came to be. That doesn't mean it was God.
Yeah.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Great. So now there are no aliens, there is no God, and the government loves us.
Or is there?
That's
We just
that's
don't
a good
fucking
question.
know.
You don't know. I think once you accept the fact that you don't know, and then
Yeah.
like expect even
Welcome
in
to
worldly
the Wildly
problems,
Agnostic Podcast.
while worldly problems that we don't quite understand, the pyramids, stuff like that. If we don't understand that, or let's say, like you said, if we don't fully understand how science works, or how do you expect us to know what happened in the very beginning of time, and if there was this man in the sky that brought us all to life and created days and shit? You don't have the ability to know if your science is correct, that you physically have in front of you,
Right.
that you have worked on for 30 years.
We know to
plus.
the best of our ability at this current time with everything.
Yeah.
Everything could be wrong. That would be
Sometimes you can't
crazy.
test stuff for like 70 years.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. It's definitely. I don't know. I like thinking
Keep
about
on it,
that.
scientists have got your back.
Hell yeah.
AI
I
for the
support
win.
that shit, but it is just wild to think that everything could be wrong.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, when they
That'd be
so
messed up.
when
Yeah.
we got into the IUC for electric, right? The whole first year is it teaches you about residential, right? It teaches you about residential, right? Second year is when you move into commercial. Residential can be covered in a whole year, right? It's
Okay.
pretty, not gonna say super simple, but pretty simple, right?
Simpler.
Second, third, and fourth, they cover everything in commercial work, which is everything from wiring to transformers, motors, all that shit, right?
To your mom's butt.
So what they do is they teach you all these basics, these very basics of what electric is and does. And then your second year, they take all of it and they flip it on its head. And everything that you learn in first year is wrong when it comes to commercial, right? So everything becomes different when it goes to commercial. So everything you learn in residential, different, right?
Right.
I think that is
Yeah,
along the same
applies.
lines, right?
Yeah.
So when they step into quantum physics,
Yeah,
right?
boy.
Everything that exists on this planet and in the universe that we think we understand, it gets wiped out in quantum theory. Like
Let's think about
in-
that shit. 'Cause like
Yeah.
on a macro level, it's one way. On a micro level, it's another.
super different. Like completely doesn't even make sense. They have to create other.
They got new
what is it?
theories,
Yeah, but what is it? We have 11 or 12. What is it?
laws of
Ow,
Science.
that was
Yeah, don't
horrible.
touch that.
But, how long until
Thank you. Sorry.
people start saying that science itself, like physics, is systemically biased? Like on the micro level, it has different rules.
Don't even put that thought out there.
It's already
I will
out there.
kill you.
It's too late.
It's so
What's
terrible.
done is done.
Well, and the same thing with black holes, though. I mean, once they start
Dimensions. Sorry.
Ah,
Yeah, there's 11 or 12 dimensions. Sorry. They have to create dimensions to make quantum theory work.
They can
String
say what
theory
they
work.
want.
Sorry. Go ahead.
well, and this shit could be out there. We just don't fucking know. We can only see so far, and we can only explore a very small part of it.
Dude, super
it's
smart. You see the thing
expanding,
we
so-
watched the other day, and it was like showing you like what we can observe, and then
Yeah.
like or where we can go, and compare to the sun. Even just the sun, it makes even to Mars.
Well,
it makes
and-
you like, what the fuck?
That's
Yeah.
what they were talking about. That's why I brought up black holes, because they're like, how do you
why not?
observe something that you can't fucking see? We don't know for a fact that it's actually there. Like,
Right?
how
you
do
just
you
see the effects.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like you can't observe time, but you can observe the results of it.
Right.
You know? Yeah.
It's definitely trippy. Oh, I wonder if.
That's
which,
why
I mean,
I've
that's-
always
Never mind.
I've always thought if say there are aliens, let's just say that, right? There has to be an entirely different way to think about time, space, energy, matter, all those things, right? And the quantum level it might be different, right? But there has to be another way to think, because there is no physical, like human in this reality, a way to travel that far that quick, like in enough time that you can ever do it.
Yeah,
you
there's
can
no
do
human way.
Yeah,
Right.
well,
But
you
there's
can
a
do
way.
a generational spaceship that carries a generation of people, and then they have kids and they sustain themselves. That's a possibility for humans right now, that you can create a generational spaceship.
I wish they
and then
would
travel.
do that.
Well, have you been? Oh,
Can you imagine how humans would evolve if they had no gravity? I just think it would be so fucking cool
they
to
would
see
still
the
have
evolution.
Because
How?
the spaceship would be on a strata. I forgot what they call it, but
Caster.
no, it spins
stopped,
while it's flying through outer space. It spins, so what the axis that you're standing on would create that gravity for you. So,
Well, that's
but it would be
disappointing.
cool, though,
Yeah,
you're right.
I would
Yeah.
much rather just see how humans evolve without gravity, and especially like imagine you're being born into a world with no gravity, or not
yeah.
none, but
Yeah.
you know,
Minimal.
different amount.
You'd definitely
And-
be weak as fuck.
Yeah, it'd be very interesting.
Look at the brains on this one. They can't walk around on a planet with any gravity, but man, he knows all the math.
And just instantly they come to a place that has gravity, and they just
On my planet, I'm
fall
not a
into
blob.
You're like
You guys-
Peter Griffin
You
without
seen
bones.
the shit? Oh, that's disgusting.
I know.
Like with the UFOs, or as the government's now calling them, UAPs.
oh yeah,
Where they're all like, man, these fuckers are doing like G levels of our bodies couldn't stand, and it's crazy.
Hell yeah.
So I mean
Yeah.
the fact that, I mean, it seems reasonable to not just jump on and say, all right, look, everybody, they're fucking aliens. But I mean, they're hesitant to talk about it in terms of extraterrestrials. It's just absurd.
Yeah, it
Because,
is
I mean,
absurd.
If America has been on the forefront technologically for as long as it seems we have been, that would imply that some other country has just jetted past us.
Yeah,
Way
definitely.
the fuck. And they're not even going to talk about it in terms of like what country it could be or how the hell they did it.
Yeah,
They're just like,
we just don't
yeah,
know.
we don't know how to do this.
I don't know what this whole thing of we're basically telling you there's something that we cannot identify
Yeah.
without actually saying it. We are going to say that it's absolutely nothing that we know of. But you have to actually put aliens in your brain, because we're not going to say the word aliens or extraterrestrials or whatever the fuck you want to call them.
Yeah.
They exist, but we're not saying it.
that's when we watched that whole like documentary on it, and it's there's actually no proof of aliens. Like technically, there is no proof that we can physically see and stuff. Even people in the government high up haven't seen it.
Except
Or they
that
say they
interview
haven't.
with that alien from the future. Seen that.
Yeah,
See
dude,
that.
for sure.
But that's until you actually physically see something, it doesn't exist. I mean, if you're willing to believe aliens at this point, I fucking believe in aliens. I'm gonna tell you that I do. But I will say though that I don't believe in them at the same time, because if I'm to say that I believe in aliens with absolutely no proof and faith, might as well just go back to Christianity at that point, because then I'm just a hypocrite.
It does seem really far-fetched, though, that there wouldn't be something out there.
If I saw Jesus on a skateboard tomorrow, I'd become a Christian. But they have spaceships that they have on radar from like the Navy and airships and shit. So at least we have that.
Yeah,
That
there is
kinda
some
points to it.
form of proof of.
I'm not talking about
Something else.
Jesus and a
There's
piece of
evidence.
toast, because that just happens
But the
sometimes.
equivalence there wouldn't be Jesus specifically or Christianity specifically. It would be religion.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
There's
yeah.
some religious truth out there. Because, I mean, you're not saying
Oh,
that
yeah.
reptilians are a real race of aliens.
definitely
You're just
Aren't
like,
we, though?
mathematically speaking,
I'm just joking. Sorry.
No, I'm with you.
mathematically speaking, aliens are real. Mathematically speaking, the Christians are right.
Hold on, I got a question. So religiously speaking,
Yeah.
right? Do you think that when the Europeans came over to settle in the Americas, right? Do you think that the spirituality, the religion, the rituals that were here before we ever made it, do you think they're closer to the truth than we are? Like the Egyptians were very spiritual and very
yeah.
religious. The Indians, ancient. I think even in Indian tribes now that are on reservations and stuff like that, I think they're far from their roots. That they used to be very connected with the universe and stuff, and they learned from nature. Like, we're always looking for an answer for things and shit, but a lot of the things that were taught to us by nature. Like, when we didn't have no explanation for it. It was taught to us by animals, by the trees, by the wind, by the rain, by the,
psychedelics.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
I don't know. We're just so
shit.
far from that.
Yeah.
And
because it's gone from the law of nature to the law of man.
Yeah.
And
oh, yeah.
Everybody wants to put shit into their own perspective there. But it's like, are we really?
You're right. And we've governed ourselves and thought we knew better. We don't.
Yeah.
Clearly.
We don't know shit.
It's like, this is how you make a fucking sandwich. And then you get like a 3-year-old. It's like, I'm going to put all this candy on it. And there's some hot mayonnaise with some ashes. That's not a sandwich, you dumb fuck. It works for me.
As long as I can kick a baby, I'm good.
Don't kick
I'm not making my sandwich again. I'm just going to kick the shit out of that baby.
Hot mayonnaise.
You know what the best video, hands down, the best video that I've ever seen on the internet, ever, was that dude breakdancing and he kicks that baby halfway across the room.
Dude.
That is the best video. Hands down. Without
what
a
about
doubt.
that one that we saw with those women that were standing on the side of the road beating each other up, and that woman kept dropping her baby? She dropped it twice
dude.
and it
No,
walked
that
out in the
was
middle
funny.
of traffic.
She picked it up and dropped it like 12 times.
And she was
dude.
holding it by its fucking arm.
Yeah, the baby was time. The baby held his arm up like "Mom," and the hand was shaking like in a movie. And then she picks the baby up and drops it again. I was like, "Baby, don't
Straight
reach
on its motherfucking face, dude.
Pick a new star, baby."
That actually, I will say that's close. But that kicking that baby, man, I don't think it gets the baby flies and like.
I don't know if I've
completely
seen
helpless.
this video.
Oh, you've had to.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'll show it to you again. I'll save it. I got it.
Oh, okay.
I got it on lock. I'll fucking get it.
I got it. It's on a tape somewhere.
It's on
Some
3 just
VHS.
in case.
Hell yeah.
Got backups for our backups.
I had a cool dream last night.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Is it about kicking babies?
No, it's about better than that.
Oh, okay.
I was in college again, but it was like a weird college. And I was there with Ingle and Couch. And the way the room was set up, there was like the main little thing. But off to the side, there was like a wall that was blocking the thing. And we couldn't see it. And there was this voice that came up. And it was all like, yeah, you all need to move to where you could see the board. So we moved to where we could see the board. And it turns out our teacher was Aaron Barrett from Real Big Fish.
Damn, that'd be awesome.
And I had the moment where like he said something. And like I wasn't controlling my dream or anything. I was just going, but like I knew what was gonna happen.
Yeah.
And I stayed cool. I was like, I know he's gonna come over and he's gonna make me skank with him in front of the class.
Oh shit.
So we had like a skank battle, and we both had backpacks on for some reason.
Because
and I was like,
what better way to skank than with the backpack?
We're gonna keep these on, or we're gonna take them off. And he was like, we just skank with backpacks. So he started doing it, and like he schooled me.
Yes.
But
course
it was
he did.
so
Yeah.
good.
Yeah. Hell yes.
So I assume that was better than actual college for sure.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that dream in a nutshell. was
I won
better.
the skank battle in college, but in my dream I couldn't do it.
It's because it was against Aaron Merritt.
Did Ingle
Motherfucker
and
can
Couch
skank.
actually go to college with you all?
No, I don't think they can read.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're both failures at everything.
Yeah.
Damn.
Did Couch go to college with me?
A buddy
Yeah.
of mine.
Did he?
I don't motherfucking know. I'll ask
A
him.
buddy of mine.
Couch, if you're listening, give us a call.
He asked me. He said,
Or Ingle.
He said, how long? He was asking when I moved out. Like we moved out of Portland, which is a bad part of the town that we live in here in Louisville.
West Side.
And we moved out to PRP, which was a little nicer. It's still trash, but
Midwest Side.
West Side. And he asked me, he's like, hey man, when did you move out there? And I'm like, I don't know, like 2000 something, right? And I asked my dad, and my dad said 2000. And then we added it up, and we've known each other for 23 years,
Hell
right?
yeah.
And it dawned on me, like, I thought time was going by fast, but that put it in perspective.
No shit.
But it's going a lot faster than what, because it's an illusion. Like yesterday was an illusion, right? Because technically it doesn't exist in the moment. We know because we have this memory of it. But what if we recreate it this morning? What if all those are an illusion that our mind makes up and the universe makes up? just like, what if there is nothing? Like, what if there's no matter and there's no time and there's no nothing? We're just creating, those are illusions. Every day that you come into consciousness, it's an illusion. But anyways, it fucked me up, dude. When he said 23 years, I'm like, I remember the first time I got out there, you know.
I find it much more interesting diving into the idea of what if there's no matter and then what if it's all memories? But what is having the memories? What are memories?
I don't know.
I don't know, man. I don't know what
Things that you've done.
This is what I want to dissect.
It structures chaos, I guess, maybe, because if without memories and without learning and knowledge, we'd be...
So then is chaos physical?
Probably not.
Okay, so then
chaos would be
immaterial things have memories.
I think so. I think you could say that.
Go on.
Wouldn't you say that?
Maybe, speaking like on a genetic level, where like our DNA, I mean, it's material, so to speak.
Yeah.
But I assume it's inanimate.
Even
but it has to be doing
H2O is in it.
I don't know.
You can store...
But material, that would mean light would have memory.
Yes.
But in order to be light, it has to have its coding for memory of, existence.
Does it, though? Like, I mean, it has
in order
to
for
have
it to
its
be,
coding.
it has to have its coding, and then coding is memory, so... Light has memory of being light, even though it's immaterial.
Yeah, that's why it continues to be light.
They've done studies where they can store information in water. So, I mean, if we're saying that, then the water that's inanimate technically is alive and thriving because it can store information.
Well, you see, the reason I went with light instead of water is because light is immaterial.
Oh,
white's material.
You can't. But it's the same thing, though, because when photons travel through the air to create light, I mean, they're still just as inanimate or animate as water would be. Just water has a higher density. Like, if light had the density water did, we'd be blasted in the face with photons all day long.
Turn the light off, God!
I can fucking see you, but I can see you at the same time.
At the smallest level, I mean, what is light? Like, when you break it down, like, could you...
A photon.
So, could you put a photon on a fucking thing and look at it under a microscope?
No, but they've done super high quality slow motion cameras. And they've captured a single photon traveling.
See, I was thinking it's like you technically, I think, could, if you could keep it in existence for long enough. Because that kind of shit, it's like its lifespan is like less than a second.
Too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And that's what they did. They showed like the single, photon traveling. But yeah, you would have to, I get, like you said, it's like an unstable characteristic. It only lasts for a very short amount of time.
But then doesn't that kind of imply that you can have two totally different time scales in a singular place? Because, I mean, for them, they're going through a cycle of whatever the fuck they're going through.
Oh, yeah, because they have a timeline for the photon, and then it exists in our timeline of life, I guess we'll just...
Yeah, so, like, for us, it's less than a second, but, like, for the photon itself... like
I've always thought that.
Yeah, it's a lifetime.
I've always thought of, pretty much anything like that, any living thing, inanimate, whatever that does that, like, its energy maybe only lasts for a few seconds, but think about, like, at their quantum level... Are they going through an entire universe's life cycle, which to us is billions of years? That's something that fucks me up. Like, even a bacteria that's on your fingernail or whatever, like, it has a very short amount of time that it lives. Flies only live 24 to 48 hours. Shit like that. Like, that's inspiring.
Is there like an answer? Do you think, do they have an answer to this question? Or is this something you think that they sit around like theorize about?
I think it's mostly theorized.
Yeah, that would be my guess.
Interesting.
We should have a scientist on
I
here.
swear to God, I was sitting here thinking it would be awesome.
I don't know any, though. I don't think all red would put up with this.
You don't think so?
No.
He was our teacher in high school.
Oh, yeah, probably not.
I don't know. Couch, y'all did have one class together in college.
Damn, look at that.
In college at the same time.
Huh.
You suck.
Oh, yeah.
Look
I
at
feel like he was... I don't know. That didn't matter. Fuck you, Couch. I don't remember what I learned or you.
That's right. You don't matter.
I didn't care for college, man. I didn't care for anything to do with it. I don't know why.
enjoyed it.
Like,
Yeah.
I think that my drug use happened 3.5 years into like the college experience. I didn't really care for it. I don't know. It was just it's
Yeah, because
boring.
it got in the way of drugs.
Oh yeah, it definitely did.
It was definitely
But-
a motherfucker.
Just sitting in that room and being like trying to download all that fucking useless information. I only say useless because the majority of people that go to school don't use this shit that they whatever. So
Yeah.
it's just like downloading
Need to
useless
focus.
information and then getting you in the habit of being subservient to your teacher. Like you got to do this homework. You gotta serve your class. Each class, you have 4 of them over the course of a semester. Blah blah blah. Like it's just like the structure of it. Eat my dick. Like
So I feel like the
Do
idea
your own-
of
I'm doing
useless
homework.
information, it's just like people that they want it all put together for them. It's like they want to have all of life's answers, but without doing any of the work.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think we'll get to a place where we can download information? Not skills and ability. Maybe
With
though.
Neuralink,
we might be able to
anything's
do that.
possible.
Yeah. He said within 10 years, language will be obsolete.
Damn.
That'd
Yeah.
be pretty dope. I
Yeah.
mean, just so we
And
can
again,
communicate
how
better.
will humans evolve? I can't wait. Will our vocal cords go away? Will
Yeah.
we?
If you don't use it, I would assume that
Yeah, man.
through evolution, it
Would we
just-
make sounds and shit? So that's basically going to make us like regress. We're gonna be cavemen again, but just everything in here. We're
Yeah.
gonna look
You
and
don't have
sound
to talk.
stupid, but we're gonna have anything we want in here.
You know, but then you got to think too. Like, yeah, conversation might be, but then you have like singers. Like, let's say Adele. What if you never heard Adele sing again?
Ugh, I
Like,
can't imagine. It'd be
fuck a
I'd
terrible.
be
world
fine
that's
with
like
it.
Fuck you. You're an idiot.
All right, well, somebody that you Ryan Adams. Like, if
I
you
don't even
never
like
heard
him anymore.
Damn.
Just for this
Damn.
specific example, I
Yeah.
don't like anyone.
Oh.
Yeah. As far as episode 109 goes, this Ian doesn't like music.
But yeah,
Not
like
even ska.
if you like get out of that and then you have no music, music is technically life. It brings us together. It communicates. It it strengthens a community in hard times. Like music is an amazing art form. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Best.
It's the best.
I just really don't like the idea,
Fuck you.
which I don't particularly care for talking all that much. But I don't like the idea of.
this?
I know. What are we doing here?
Well, I'm just thinking about Neuralink. So, like, if I don't want someone to be able to access my shit or like me to like throw my thoughts into yours, I would rather talk
But it would
to
pop
you.
up like a message. So I have to accept you popping into my space. You know.
Yeah, I just
I'm
don't
sure
know
they're
about all
doing
that.
But
So, like,
That'd be
in my
cool,
head
huh?
is going to be like a drive-in movie theater with just conversations up there.
I think about like the time like on mushrooms and shit like that. The hallucinations and shit technically are just like going on up here, right? And it's
Yeah.
not actually in your visual field.
Right.
It's just in your mind.
It's kind of how I look at it.
Yeah. So when Neuralink happens, you won't even have to think about it in your visual field. It will be here.
So it's
like,
not
in
going to
this
be like
space.
Terminator where it pops, or is that
No.
Predator? Or they both?
No, that's
have
Terminator
shit?
too,
Okay,
yeah.
Yeah, because I think it's
As
like whenever
well, not two.
whenever your mind's racing and shit, and you got like a billion things going, and you're like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna write this shit down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you can't because there's way too much of it. You'll just there
all
it is all at
disappears.
once.
Yep.
I do
That's
really
exactly.
like that idea because I do have such a hard time remembering things.
Ooh,
Yeah.
you can put it down.
It'll
But-
definitely help with memory.
Yeah.
I was thinking what would be beneficial, which I think that skills and ability come with like the practice and stuff like that. But if they can download skills and ability, like you can just be like, I want to be able to drum and stuff. It downloads the muscle memory. It downloads the stuff. Then
Like
you would.
in the
that's-
Matrix.
Isn't that what practicing is doing? Is muscle memory and
Hell yeah.
and mental strength, stuff like that. So if you could download all that, you would be good at it. You would already
So,
know.
I mean, does that imply if you can download all that stuff, does that mean you don't have to practice? Like, does it
That's what I'm
download
thinking, yeah.
muscle memory and you can just play drums like
I'm just
fucking
saying
Travis Barker?
It may be a
So.
possibility. Like,
Because I mean they've got monkeys playing video games with their mind, so yeah.
Jesus
If you
Christ.
can if you can do that shit, then yeah, dude.
Yeah.
I wanna
It's
ask you
wild.
about your lucid dreaming shit.
yeah.
Because I don't remember if we've ever talked about this, but somebody mentioned something where like if you meditate in your dreams, then it's more powerful. Like it's 9 or 10 times more powerful. And like if you study shit in your dreams, you remember it and things. Do you ever do that?
No, I haven't got to that point, but I've heard the same. Even if you can do that, like vivid dream or astral project, and like practice your craft, the benefits from that is tenfold compared to doing it in the physical world. I didn't know that either, but they did studies on it, and they had groups of people who could do that, and they trained in a vivid dream or an astral projection, and they were tenfold better when they got into a real life space. Yeah, no, I haven't got a chance to do that like to that point, but yeah, that's what the studies.
Get it, boy.
Yeah,
Get it.
That's something that I'm really interested in, because think about that, man. If you could, substantially better. That's not a little bit. Tenfold, like that's going to be a substantial better. Yeah. I like that. Yeah, I'm going to,
Wow.
for sure look into that.
I never would have even thought of that.
No, that is something I read.
Huh.
People say you can't see like time and words and shit in dreams, but I feel like I've seen that shit.
Yeah, no, in my projections, I've read license plate numbers, and street signs, so you can see words and letters.
You're special.
No. Well, no.
Maybe everyone's different, because not everyone like dreams in color, so maybe it's varies from person to person. I don't know that I've ever seen words. Maybe.
I know. I just know that I have
a lot of dreams I don't remember.
Yeah, no.
To say.
Yeah. No, and I've always heard the myth that I don't know if it's a myth. It may be true, but you can't actually see your own hands in a dream. So I don't know if that one's true.
That's absurd.
Yeah, that's what they've said.
I don't know.
But that's so like interpretive. So I could say that, but how can you study something that I'm dreaming about? Like, that's, you have to base it all off what that other person said.
Yeah, I just don't remember my hands ever, because why would you be thinking about your hands in a dream unless it's you're buying gloves? Like, I just don't know what the
gloves don't fit me.
Yeah.
All right, so like when I was dreaming last night with the skanking and stuff, like when I was battling him, I wasn't seeing it from like a first-person perspective.
Yeah.
Like I was just watching it.
Yeah.
So I could see my hands.
But could you
So were you
describe them?
Were you
without
seeing
looking?
it from like a
I don't
camera
remember how many I
behind
had.
you? Like seeing the dream from like if there was a camera like right behind you?
Yeah, it's like if it was a movie. You know?
Okay.
Yeah.
So you were kind of like
It's kind of like
third party
person style. Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder if that, though, is because you like to watch movies. Like, do you view life like that? I mean,
Seems reasonable.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
although I will say I don't really recall ever seeing myself in a dream. I always seem to be like me in the dream.
Yeah, looking out.
Like looking
Yeah.
through your eyes.
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing what happens between the ears and the eyes. Like, it's just amazing.
Hell yeah.
Like, what is possible within that? Like, I don't think we truly understand that. So how are we supposed to understand
No.
anything else?
I would definitely like to be in an experiment, though,
Hell yeah.
that involves what can we fucking do with this? They'd be like, this is a terrible brain. We got to get rid of this girl.
How is she still alive?
It's just an apple up there. Can you imagine?
It's not even a green apple.
It's a real small, teeny tiny apple.
Teeny tiny.
Yes.
Sarah Applebrain.
I like that. I like it a lot.
Is things.
Did you hear that Trump gave a speech in North Carolina and Fox wouldn't broadcast it?
No.
Fox wouldn't? I thought
Fox
they'd be
would-
the first ones.
Nope, they didn't
to-
want to fuck with him.
Why,
awesome.
Why would they? I don't know. Fox always seemed to like they were the pushers of all his nonsense.
Hell yeah.
They wouldn't broadcast it.
I don't remember their reasoning behind it.
Maybe the cabal told them if they did, they'd be shut down.
That's what I'm thinking. The cabal got to the journalists and they're like, don't even broadcast it because he's right. We don't want the people riled.
I feel like it had something to do with January 6th. And
Oh, no doubt.
yeah.
Because they didn't want him to start another, like, fucking whatever you want to call that. I don't want to call it an insurrection,
Like,
whatever.
things have kind of
Revolution.
settled. Don't let this fucker talk again.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
There was another station that wouldn't air it either, but I don't remember who it was. Fox was the one that was like, what?
Yeah, that one seems weird. Because they'd be like, yeah, freedom.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they're conservative, right-wing, like, shit. So why
Hell
wouldn't
yes.
they? But
Makes
I
me
can
feel
see
good.
it.
Well, and I told you that he had a blog. Apparently, he stopped
He's-
it
yeah.
because no one gave a fuck.
I know. There weren't enough people reading it.
Hell yeah.
Oh, ain't that crazy?
I'm just waiting for him to stop popping up in my fucking news feed and stuff. Like,
Well, I
just,
think too that like since none of this stuff is coming true for the people who are opening their eyes now, this group of people have found other things to get up in arms about. But that's what fucking makes me the most like, I don't know, like you
Irritated?
can't, you can't fucking like back all this stuff and say this was all gonna happen and then it doesn't, and then just sweep it under the rug like that was like yesterday's
Right.
shit, whatever. Like you believed in something that was so obviously fucking dumb, and then you're just gonna sweep it under the rug and then talk about like there's gonna be a gas shortage and all the gas stations are gonna be shut down. That didn't happen.
Yeah,
So are
nothing
you
you
just gonna
said.
go from one to the next and get fucking mad about everything? Guess what? Eventually, if you do 1,000 fucking things, like get fucked up about 1,000 different
Yeah.
things, one of those things are actually gonna come true, and then it's gonna solidify the fucking craziness that is the whole
when that one
conservative, right wing, extremist, whatever.
when that one
Fuck.
thing happens, all this other bullshit's gonna pop back up, and they're gonna be like, "See, it's all right. I told you," because it's all connected.
All connected, yeah. Just because one of those things, and everything that is the colonial pipeline thing, that shit was settled within 5 to 6 days, like, and it was all over. The fuck out of here! Like, stop getting up in arms about stuff. You're not gonna prove anything right. Nothing's gonna progress if you keep regressing yourself to this
See,
nonsense.
they slipped up on this when this truth came out. Think about all
Yeah.
the truth that's still suppressed.
So much. But that goes back to taking opinions as fact. Like a lot of that was opinion. Like Trump shit based nothing in fact, and he spouted off a bunch of opinion madness nonsense bullshit,
Yeah.
and people fucking were like all for it.
Well, and there's this whole thing of they're now comparing constantly us having to wear masks to the Holocaust. I mean,
that's fucked up.
over and over and over. There's like memes and shit about it, about how we're heading towards a genocide. Like
Oh,
they're
that's fucked up.
because there's like 10 steps and they're on 7. Like,
What?
shut the fuck up.
Is it a genocide against the Karens of the world?
Dude, I don't.
Oh,
It's. I
yeah.
guess. But I would.
Even if
Just
like,
wouldn't it be great if
that's all
all the
this like
they all died?
yeah.
Can we just be
The
dead?
the
I don't know.
Fauci stuff that's
Retail
coming
might
out and
get
shit.
worse.
He was always like nobody fucking believed none of the shit he said. He went back on everything that he ever said or come out with, and now everybody's like, check out the emails. Like, of course they're gonna be all like, I don't know. They're saying like he admitted that it came from like a Wuhan lab and shit. And that, like, he went back on the whole mask thing, whatever. There's a whole bunch of shit. But when it comes down to it, the dude from the beginning didn't know what the fuck he was talking about the entire time.
Well, how could you?
So,
You know,
of course, his
he's
fucking
ahead of the
emails are like,
CDC
Yeah.
or whatever, but he doesn't.
he's a
He doesn't
fucking
know
idiot.
everything.
Yeah, he didn't create this and been studying it
Yeah.
for years.
Plus,
he has
I mean,
no
it's,
idea.
it's my understanding that the emails, for one, weren't leaked; they were released.
No.
Yeah.
And
'Cause
that the
freedom
people that
of
have actually
information.
read them said, "Well, there's nothing in here that really
Yeah.
gives into your
There's
conspiracy
not.
shit.
Yeah.
It's just it's being spun so that the
Yeah.
people on the right are like, see,
Mm-hmm.
we fucking
Dude,
told
and
you."
they are, bro. They are fucking up in arms. I'm
It's
like,
like, yeah, but how many of you have actually read them?
yeah.
Well, then none
Except
of
for
them-
a small excerpt.
But I haven't either, so who's to say?
But
Well,
they can be, those documents can be fucked with. It's not a picture. That's not a video. That's not, that can be fucked with, just like everything else. So how can you like trust something that was like, yeah, but fuck?
Well, and all
Can't fuck with my
which
Bible.
I mean, there's thousands of pages, and of course.
3,600 something.
Yeah,
Like that.
and of course I haven't read all of them. I've read some, but all the stuff that I have read that's been leaked isn't even like, it's like does stuff. Like, of course he really didn't know all this stuff. Like,
Plus
anyone who thought he did is a fucking idiot.
The idea of like, oh, he was communicating with Wuhan. It's like, why the fuck would you not?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
he's
know,
just
right?
making sure. And that's what I think a lot of people, because he questions, like in the email, he's questioning if it did or if it had anything to do with the case of, or the right of whatever, the type of studies they do on it and
Did the
shit.
duty to bat?
Like they fucking,
lab?
they, you know, he admit, you know, trying to look into it, like you just said, like asks and stuff like that. And people are taking that as him saying that, like, it came from there, like stuff, he's going to get indicted, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, this is another colonial pipeline. This is another gas shortage. This is another, Trump's going to be president 4 different times that never happened. This is going to be another one of those things you get fucked up about and doesn't happen.
You know, I enjoy reading comment sections on everything. It's my favorite part of the internet is a comment section.
Yeah.
And, you know, I tend to, once we lay down, I get on Reddit and I just bullshit and read everyone's great comments. And I'm yet to come across, I guess, an extreme conservative who has provided any sources for anything they've said.
Oh, I know. They
Not
don't.
one.
Bro, they don't.
No.
They don't. It's all opinion. Some of the stuff, they'll come up with something, but it's empty. Kind of like the emails, but even worse.
Yeah.
So empty. But I think they throw so much shit in there. Like if I was like, well,
'Cause
that's a lie
everything's
because this is
connected.
scientific. That's what they'll do. They'll be like, well, what at this and this and this. But in each individual one, if you go to shut down each individual one, you could. But they would just be like, well, and then they'll jump on it.
Yeah.
It's so.
Where is
makes
it in
you feel
this?
insane.
Well, you got to read between the lines.
And stuff like that. Well, you can't prove it with paperwork or whatever, or facts or whatever. Yeah, because they're suppressing the information. And
It's 'cause
it's
it's
all a
not
part
there.
of the thing, the cabal. And like, why even? My thing is, let's, even if some of it was right? Why would you burden yourself with any of that? Like, I'm not saying be selfish and not care about your neighbor and all that shit. Why burden yourself, stress yourself out, try to be a part of something, make your life worse, but worrying about this stuff when you can't really do nothing? Just be a good
I
person.
mean, it seems like that's a smart way to go, but then if everybody took that route, then people could so easily get away with shit that horribly nefarious.
That's just true,
Well,
but they do anyway.
No, that's like,
But you know, if we can limit it, why not?
Absolutely.
But
That's
also,
like-
maybe we should have smarter people digging in.
Yeah.
well, companies
great.
that are like, they use chemical, or they dump chemicals or whatever, or companies that have unfair, unsafe work practices, stuff like that. When something like that happens and they have physical evidence on paper or emails that actually matter, stuff like that, they take it to committees, they start fighting, stuff like that, because they have actual information. Courts will actually see their case. Courts will listen. The Supreme Court will listen. Higher up people will listen if you have fucking proof.
Yeah.
Right?
Evidence.
Evidence. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, evidence, bro. Like, they will. But
Yeah.
if you come with all these, like, empty facts and this madness, and the thing is, the YouTube videos that a lot of this stuff comes from, the Facebook ads that it comes from, you've seen it. Like, the titles use, like, keywords like collapse.
It's
and
clickbait is what it is, and
Yeah.
they take it as fucking gospel.
And that's what it is. They're all like capitalized, like collapse or whatever, indictment or like whatever.
Yeah.
And then everything else is like little and it's big. Because you're right, it's clickbait. And there's a lot of people that jump on that.
Fuck yeah, people
So-
are nuts.
And some people don't know the difference,
Yeah.
which is awesome.
Yeah, I know.
Well, but it comes with that. Most of us realize that we're ignorant to a lot of things. Like, you have a specialty in life, but you're generally you're fucking ignorant to most things in life. I'm fucking ignorant to most things in life.
Yeah.
But if you come across these things and it makes you feel like you're smarter than you are, it makes you feel like you're more amazing and doing more for the world than you really are, of course it's going to get into it because you're vulnerable. You're susceptible. You're like to being caught up in the madness. And you can't blame the people for like that's I don't get mad even at that. Like I'm going to hear you out like even if I think it's crazy. Like who am I to say? Like, you know, I'm ignorant.
Whenever a cat brings you like a squirrel corpse and you're like, I don't fucking want this. This is disgusting. But the cat's like, I'm helping.
Yeah.
helping, yeah.
Oh, I want all the corpses. It's so sweet.
Corpse.
And I was doing some laundry and shit earlier, and there was like a wash rag in the basement, and I was gonna grab it and take it over to throw it in the washer, but I came up for whatever reason, and I went back down, and it wasn't there.
Oh.
And I
That's
came up,
trippy.
and it was in the kitchen,
What?
and Coop fucking moved it.
What a dick. That's
And, like,
creepy.
he goes into my closet and he'll like take socks and put them around the house.
Oh my god. I love that.
That's awesome.
Yeah, he's a badass.
He is a badass. He was drooling earlier.
Was
It
he sleeping?
disgusting. No, he was sitting behind me. Like he was behind my head, and like I didn't see it at first. And like he put his paw on the back of my neck. I was like, "Oh, what's up, buddy?" And then
It's like wet.
Casper looked at him, and she was like, he's drooling."
E.
And I was like, "I don't want to look. It's right by my head." So she sent me a picture, and there's just it's like there's like a 4-inch stream of drool just hanging.
Oh.
It's awesome.
I was like, "Fuck it, man. You're my boy."
Cats are the shit.
Hell yeah.
I used to, we worked in Mike Lenning's. I was a busboy. It was like one of my first jobs. And there was like this old lady that was like an ex-crackhead, like old school crackhead. And you could tell like it fucked her brain up. And she would be taking orders and a thing of drool would just come down. And I mean, it was a long, one of those drools like I just slept and like
Hell
it's
yeah.
thick and it just would hang.
Got all that sleep thickness.
So disgusting, man. Oh,
Did she notice it?
Never, bro. Never. Yeah, don't worry about it. Yeah, that was episode 109.
Disgusting.
Yeah, I hope we made it interesting for you. Although it would go against the name of the podcast. I hope it was very interesting and fun to listen
Hope
to.
you're bored the whole time.
Yeah.
We appreciate everybody who got this far and whoever come in to check us out. You know, if you
Yeah.
need us to do anything different or you want to come on the show or
If you're a
whatever.
fucking scientist,
Oh, yeah.
please be on our goddamn show.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man.
Hello.
One time.
One time.
Dr.
No.
Sexwood, you are not a scientist.
No.
No,
But what up?
not really.
Yeah, hey man.
Hey, man. No, but yeah, man, thank you for everybody who stopped
He
in to
made
check
us
us
some
out.
sugar.
You all get to getting.
Yeah.
Sugar.
I'm Adam. That's Ian. That's Sarah.
Hi.
Thanks again.
Scat.
I don't think I said thanks once.
Scat, scat. He did. Scat.
Oh.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Wildly
Wildly
Uninteresting
Uninteresting.
podcast.